Hey there, Nate here with the Volunteer Tech Vlog, and this is my live sound report. So these are the notes I took while running sound today on this lovely rainy Sunday, which is September 13th, 2015. So the first really cool thing about today was we had 3 volunteers step up that showed interest in serving on the multimedia team as video or audio operators. And all 3 of them are named Lauren. So we literally had 3 Laurens, Lauren A, Lauren B, and Lauren M up there. And then also Brian was up there. And not only that, Jill came up there also during between the services for training. Jill has been training from her sister Amy, who went off to college. So Jill is doing video or video operating or slides for her first time on her own next weekend. So she had a little crash course today just to make sure after a few weeks of observing she'll be good to go. So we've got the new recruits coming in. Huge answer to prayer, and people are definitely stepping up. So now the ball's back in my court to train everybody and try to make sure everybody knows what they're doing. And it's a joint effort. I'm not doing it by myself, but I really want to make sure that it's seed through and somebody's following through with these people and just giving them the opportunities they need, communicating with them, telling them to show up for rehearsals, telling them to do these different things. So we had Lauren A observing during the first service, and she really wants to do audio, which is awesome. Because we've only got 2 people that really do audio on a regular basis. So adding a 3rd is huge. If we can add a 4th, that'll be even better. But first, let's start. Let's start with what we've got, and then we've got 2 potential people to do video. Actually, the other 2, Lauren B and Lauren M, I don't think I've heard them say one way or another exactly what they want to do. My assumption is based on their body language up there in the loft. It seems like they're more oriented towards or more interested in the video, but I got to follow up. I got distracted after the service, so I didn't get to follow up with them yet. So that is awesome. We're seeing some movement there, and that doesn't mean that we're not taking any more new people. That means that's great. We're always looking for more people. So if it's an all volunteer team, so the more people that are trained and know how to do this, the better it is. So we're still looking for new people. If you're interested, don't use the fact that, oh yeah, you had some people cover that. I was thinking about it, but yeah, maybe I was on the fence. Never mind. I guess I won't speak up. If that's you, still speak up, because we're doing this training right now, and it's a perfect time to have a little class of 5 or 6 people to do the training together, and it's that would be great. So if you're still interested, there's still room. Don't miss out. Okay, the next thing about today was for the second service. I don't know. This is like a huge pet peeve, probably a lot of sound guys, is you get first service mixed and you're happy with it, and then the second service occurs and the mix is different because a musician changed a setting somewhere, or maybe they put in a new battery, or maybe they tweak things. And I totally called out someone today because I was happy with the mix first service. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. I like that. Second service, all of a sudden we're on the verge of clipping on one channel, and the person, I said, so how much did you turn yourself up for second service? And they're like, oh, you caught me, and I was just like, pet peeve of sound guys. I had the mix set, and so when somebody adjusts, so this is the reason why. So when somebody adjusts like that, now I've got to go back to the front of house, to sanctuary, to the floor there, to remix and make sure everything sounds balanced, because I have a mix in my head now of how I think it should sound. Now I've got to go to overflow and make sure the mix sounds balanced there. I've got to listen to the broadcast mix, and I got to make sure the broadcast is balanced. And I got to go to the in-ear monitor, because right now our in-ears are feeding our nursery, which is kind of like a satellite way over in another building. And so just that little tweak has so many downstream ramifications. It drives me a little bit batty sometimes. So that's why I get on people for doing stuff like that. Once it's set, leave it. Or if you got to change it, if you got to change a battery, if you got to tweak something, let your sound guy know so he can adjust accordingly. Okay, so that was the big one. The next thing was baby dedication. So during the baby dedication, this was kind of no rehearsal for baby dedication. the parents go up there. They're holding their baby. The pastor's up there. He's holding the baby. He's kissing the baby on the forehead and praying over it, and so little Isaac there was dedicated. And what I noticed happened was, so Pete was standing up there in front of the pulpit, and the family was standing up like right here, and Pete wants to like put his arm around the family and be right there. So he slowly drifted over, and he wasn't mic'd up. He was just using the podium mic. So immediately I noticed that's a problem. Even though there's nothing I could really do at the time, because I'm back up there in the loft, and I didn't have anything spare ready to go. So he drifted over. So that means that the people sitting near him can kind of hear what's going on, but nobody in the recording could hear a good portion of the dedication, and nobody in the fellowship hall and overflow could hear a portion of the dedication there. So mental note, next time there's a baby dedication, figure out which pastor's going to do it and wire them up. Pete did a good job at realizing what he did, and then kind of drifting back in front of the microphone when he was finishing up the dedication. So it did come back full circle, and the problem was rectified, but there was like a little stretch there where I think people might have been confused, or people listening to the recording might not get everything. So just wanted to make note of that. I thought the bass amp was a little bit loud. I should have communicated better with Andrew there to tweak that a little bit. And the guitar amp I thought sounded great. I thought the guitar amp had a good volume there. And trying to work with I need to brainstorm. So this is kind of something I need to brainstorm on. So our electric guitar player uses this pedal called the Seraphim pedal, and what it does is it adds like a bunch of reverb and like upper harmonics. It almost sounds like a synth pad. So I'm trying to brainstorm what I can do with that, because I almost want to treat it like a separate instrument. I almost want to have like a classic electric guitar channel for when he's playing riffs and chords. And then I almost want, like when he switches over to use that Seraphim pedal, I almost want some sort of like A/B switch going on, or something like that, or distribution amp or something where I can I can have different parameters, different settings to treat that Seraphim pedal differently. I'm not 100% sure exactly. I haven't fully wrapped my head around how that would work, or the logistics of it. So if you use the Seraphim pedal, let me know what you guys do, because it'd be great to get feedback from anybody else out there. But I'm just brainstorming. I think it's great. I mean, if you don't have a keyboard player, I think that's like a great little tool to have in your tool box there to kind of fill out the mix there from a musical standpoint. And then let's see, the last thing I wanted to mention was as I buckle up and start to head home here, last thing I wanted to mention was RF is not perfect. So I mean, I haven't we've got a Shure ULX system. I think it's ULXD, and from time to time you just get a little dropout every once in a while, and you'll miss like a syllable or half a word or something like that. And I'm not 100% sure why, but from our experience, and I'm talking about our specific system here, our RF system is just, it's not perfect. There's always some little dropout or little tweak or something that goes on. So I just make a note of that for educational purposes. If you're one of the new people that is training here, that is learning these systems, if you can have a hardwired microphone that's physically plugged into a tie line and that physically comes back to the mixer, that is more reliable than going wireless. Because when you're going wireless, you've got to trust that these radio frequencies aren't being interfered with by radio stations, TV stations, microwaves, who knows what. I can't really speak in depth. I should probably talk to somebody like Carl from Electrosonics or something like that. I heard him on Church Tech Weekly one time. He really knows his stuff. I mean, if you work for Electrosonics, you kind of have to know your stuff about that. But I'm sure there's things we can do to make our RF system more robust. But right now, I just wanted to make a little note of that. When you're doing wireless mics, there's always a potential for some little hiccup. And it might not last a long time, but it might be just enough to distract everybody and maybe cause a little bit of confusion there. So with that, I will end this video. My name is Nate. This is the Volunteer Tech Vlog. I will see you in the next video.